Hey, everybody, and welcome to Badge Banter, where we feature some incredible stories from our partners and end users about the importance of the ID badge to an organization's overall security efforts. I'm Lindsay Martinez, the CEO of Badge Fast, and I'm super excited to introduce you to today's guest. Today, we've got David Kerr, the Assistant General Manager of the Mississippi Mud Monsters, with us. David, thank you so much for being here.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I've always wanted to say this. So I'll just say first time listener or long time listener, first time caller. Always wanted to say that.
Well, perfect. I'm happy to have you as a guest, and I'm so excited because I like when we get to have unique guests on. I think we have a lot of people from the security industry as guests, and like this is cool to have a different vantage point. So to kick things off, because I just introduced the Mississippi Mud Monsters, and I guarantee a lot of people listening don't know who that is. So can you tell us a little bit about the Mud Monsters? Like, who are you guys, and what are you doing here in Mississippi?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a MLB Partner League baseball team. I don't think it's even obvious when you say Mud Monsters that it could be baseball. So we are effectively a minor league baseball team in Pearl, Mississippi, suburb of Jackson, really close to the Badge Pass headquarters. And what we do is that sounds boring. Like I don't need to tell you what we do. Like we make baseball happen, but we are also a hyper-focused organization on fan experience and people coming out and having a great time, whether they love baseball or not. We came here after the Mississippi Braves, the Atlanta Braves affiliate, was in the ballpark, Trustmark Park here in Pearl, Mississippi for 20 years, and they left. And so Central Mississippi thought it was not going to have a team. And luckily an owner, a team president, they got together. They invited me. I was their first ever employee, which is still very strange to say, to create a brand new team and experience. And then our goal is for everything we do to feel like it's local Mississippi and telling a story, because everyone loves Atlanta Braves, but 20 years of an Atlanta team in Mississippi, you don't have ownership of that. We're a catfish, a M logo that looks like it's dripping mud. Like we are 100% Mississippi, and that's what we're all about.
I love that. And I remember meeting you and hearing about it and like your plans for it before Mississippi Mud Monsters like really took off. And I was excited even then. So now fast forward, and it's been like a year since you and I first sat down, and I feel like that brand has really taken off this year. So the name, the colors, the whole vibe of what y'all are doing from a Mud Monsters perspective, and I've been really impressed. So can you tell everybody a little bit about the inspiration behind that identity?
Yeah, absolutely. So our identity is intended to scream Mississippi, and it needs to be super unique. It couldn't be anybody that follows sports. Almost everybody is a fan of the Tigers, or, like the same team names are reductive and used over and over again, and the same team colors are. I feel like almost everybody, if they look at their 5 favorite teams, have one that is navy and red. And so the first thing that we did is we created a list of names and looks that we could not consider, that we did not want to be repetitive of somebody else. And so we took those out. The second thing we did is said we absolutely will not be the color of anything else that's in Mississippi. I have plenty of fans that are Mississippi State fans, so their maroon is good. And I have friends that are Ole Miss fans, and their navy and red are great. But I didn't want to wear their colors. And so we kind of made a list of do not do's. If we were creating a brand from scratch, here are the things we will not be so that we don't match other people. And so then we created a list of about 30 names that we really liked. And then we were debating on 4 or 5 color palettes. And so we narrowed down those names. My favorite name did not make the top 10. So I had a name.
Or no, mine made the top 5, I think, when we voted, but mine was not the winner. Yeah. My favorite.
And so to put in perspective, there were a lot of names, a lot of healthy and probably unhealthy discussion about, I like this, I don't like that. David, and to credit, our team president and I go way back. So he can tell me, David, you're an idiot. We're not doing that. Some of the stuff, and vice versa. I did the same. And so we narrowed it down to 3 names. The Mud Monsters, which is a catfish. Which, if you don't know about Mississippi, anybody listening, Mississippi is the catfish capital of the world. Like, we export catfish everywhere, and you can't, anytime you drive through the Delta, you come across giant signs that say stuff like catfish capital of the world. So really, really important to our state. We did the Mississippi Soul Shakers. Jackson's the city of soul, and music is really deep here. And then Mississippi Grits, both term grit is really big in baseball, and like gritting your teeth and stuff, but I learned this. I'm not a Southerner. I'm from Ohio originally, but the importance of grits to Mississippi culture and heritage and breakfast and every Waffle House visit um, is really important. And so we put it up for a fan vote and we let people decide. Mud Monsters was my favorite out of the three, but you get really nervous. You're like, this is what I want. This is what I'm planning for. But if people don't vote for it, then I'm not going to do it. We want to listen. This is Mississippi's team. And so the biggest, coolest part of it is that within 2 days, I knew it was going to win because it was at like 62, 63% pretty. And then the other two were splitting out the votes. And so fans voted for it. And then we got to a place where we were picking colors and it needed to be distinct. It needed to be only that here. And teal and aquamarine and then kind of using black as an undertone isn't used in Mississippi. But it felt like this would be a way, if you saw someone wearing teal, you knew they were a Mud Monsters fan, like immediately. And I think the best part of it is I went to a gala the other night, like wearing my tuxedo, teal tie, the whole 9 yards, steering into it. And the number of formal dresses that were teal and aquamarine, like we didn't plan it, but those colors are in right now. So we are 100% like the hot colors.
Look at you on brand.
So I know. I'm telling everyone it's because I started it. I started the teal trend, and now people are buying gorgeous dresses in Mud Monster colors.
That's awesome. I love that. I think that, I mean, people think about their culture and their brand identity and what they're going to build. And so often I think you use things as examples of like, I love these. And then you end up copying it, and y'all like went the opposite route. You were like, don't do these things. Like, here's a list of everything we will not do. And that's great. I mean, that's like starting the opposite direction, and then you landed on something really unique and cool, and that's a cool way to go about it.
Oh, it was so much fun. I mean, think about like some of the fun nights when you get your best friends over to the house and you're able to trash talk a little bit. We're able to do that with every sports team ever and be like, what they did trash, in the fun way and not in the public way, not trashing anyone's work, but in that kind of goofy way of we want to do something different and we want to stand out. And I think we do that really, really well. And I'm super proud of it.
Well, it is definitely awesome what you're building. And when you and I first met, we bonded over not just not being from the South originally, because we had that in common too, but also about the Savannah Bananas specifically, because I mentioned how much they have inspired me at Badge Pass. We have nothing to do with baseball, so very unrelated to baseball culture. But they've really inspired me and our team to think differently about how we approach the customer experience, baseball or not. And then y'all like are adjacent to Savannah Bananas. I mean, you're in baseball. So how have they inspired what you're building with the Mud Monsters?
Yeah, Jesse Cole, who yellow tux guy. Anybody that knows the Bananas knows the guy in the yellow tux. Jesse Cole's their owner, and his story. I believe that what we do is storytelling. Like, yes, it's baseball, and yes, we're selling hot dogs and all of these things, but really we're helping people tell their stories. Because I tell my story that I grew up going to minor league games with my grandpa, and that's who made me. I want people to create their own. And Jesse is probably the foremost voice of that you're not just creating a experience, you're creating a memory that is going to last far, far without it. And his story is crazy. Like he was managing a different collegiate wood bat team. He decided to take the risk and buy Savannah, which my sister lived in Savannah, so I've been to that ballpark a handful of times. Even met Jesse there. It was not a nice ballpark. Like, it's a falling apart junk heap, one of the worst places. And Savannah is also a miserable feeling city, like heat wise. Makes Mississippi feel. And Savannah is a great city. Like, go visit it, but definitely go visit it in like November when it's cold. And so the idea of going outside in a junky ballpark, and Jesse saw a vision. Like, he spent everything. They sold their house. They lived on an air mattress. Like, I think that's the thing that I take most away from it is like it requires that sort of personal investment to do something. And then you have to not worry about what people say. Savannah Bananas, and I'm going to quote David Kerr Facebook circa 2014 when he started, is that's the dumbest name I've ever heard, but I'm excited to see the yellow jerseys. And so, like, that's me. Like, I believe in creativity. I believe in being silly. And I still was like, did they take any time or did they just find the first rhyming word they could? And he had a vision to see past the detractors and to continue, like, pushing, and he didn't, they didn't have people show up immediately. It took them showing that they could have fun and whatnot. And so for me, the big thing is that customer forward, that very, like, you put the customer first, their fans first entertainment. Like, you put your fans first, you tell a great story, and you have to turn off the noise. Not everyone's going to believe in what you're doing until they do it themselves, till they experience it. And I actually told Jesse this. We had a conversation not too long ago. I said, I don't want to be the bananas. I want you to do what you're doing, and it's super fun, and I'm going to get in the lottery and buy tickets. But there's still a heart of baseball, like the game itself originally, that I think we do really well. So I want to take all of the good stuff from them, and I want to steal, and I want them to look at us, and then I want to add in real baseball. I want you to be able to score keep during the game, and I want you to be able to follow along that way. So Jesse and Savannah Bananas have turned an eye back toward our sport, and I just want to be, I want our team to be that well recognized, of course, but I want it to be different. I want people to say, not just, hey, this is what baseball can be, but this is why I came to Pearl, Mississippi. And I said my goal is for at least one person to hop on a plane next year and come here because they want to see what we're doing. Like, they're not coming here. Yeah, their goal's they're not coming to Mississippi for a conference. They're not coming to meet you, although hopefully they're coming to buy badges from you. But that they come specifically because they have to see what a Mud Monsters game is, because the story's too crazy to believe.
No, I love that. And, you really touched on kind of the core of, like, Jesse Cole and the Savannah Bananas. And I mean, to me, it's, when you create an unbelievable customer experience, people keep coming back. But I think that baseball aside, so, like, clearly a lot of what he's doing translates well to y'all, but that messaging translates to every industry. And I think that's why it resonates with me too. So create an unbelievable customer experience and tell a great story. Whether you're telling a great story around something that happened in a baseball game, or you're creating a memory for someone, or you're telling a great story around how you're using a badge to foster greater feeling of connectedness and recognition within an organization, you're building something. And I think that story transcends whatever industry you're working in.
I completely agree. It sounds really strange, but these are a lot of lessons. I worked for Starbucks at one point in time when I was in college, and
I didn't know that.
Starbucks is really good at ingraining, like, their corporate culture in you. I still remember all of their guiding principles, and they had a rule that if you were doing any decision you made, you could tie back to these 3 or 4 guiding, and you had to tie them back, like, you had to defend them with the guiding principles, and so you could do stuff that was outside the norm because you had a basis. And that's what Jesse does, that every corporation, like, baseball is real easy for me, right? I can see it, but everyone can say, hey, put your customers first, make sure that the experience is different, it's unique, make sure that it's friendly. But then I think the biggest lesson any business can take is profitability is important to Jesse. And obviously he's making a ton of money now, but he makes sure that profitability is not the thing he's talking about. He doesn't answer to investors. A lot of people that will listen to this podcast will have investors, right? Sure. And so being able to look at them and say, hey, for us to do business the way we want to grow naturally, to grow authentically, we can't always 100% worry about short-term profit. And that takes a little bravery. Mm-hmm. That takes a lot of bravery. Yeah. But Jesse's example, like, he took down all the corporate ads on his outfield wall and said, I want to focus on the other part of this now. And now that he has grown and it's authentic, he started to add some corporate clients in there and some corporate sponsors. But he just said, he's like, people come to me for baseball. They come to me for fun. I'm going to focus on the fun right now and worry about long-term profits long-term. Yeah.
Oh, definitely a risk. But yeah, it totally changes your business model when you put the business first and then the profits follow, as opposed to putting profits first and then, like, what is in your business? Like, how does your business identify? Yep.
Absolutely. Well, and the example I give is I could grab an extra 1,000 people at a game if I gave away tickets for really cheap. If I said, hey, for this game, $2 tickets, I'll have an extra 1,000 people here. And short term, that's a great boost for us. But long term, I need to build out all of the experience so people want to come, and then they're not expecting to get some sort of discount ticket just to fill seats. And so it's the same vision in every other business, is you build something really awesome that people need to be involved in, so you're not having to go to short-term tricks. And Jesse kind of teaches us that really well.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So let's kind of transition a little and talk about specifically, we have to talk about badges and we have to talk
Yes.
about how we ended up working together, of course. But let's talk about the Little Monsters Club. So this was a really cool project you came up with last fall, and it gave us, Badge Pass and the Mud Monsters, an opportunity to work together at the ballpark. Can you tell us a little bit about that and why you wanted to work with us on that project?
Yeah, there's it. So actually that whole like concept and kind of wanting to get to know you, like our introduction came from a post you made on LinkedIn a year or 2 years ago. I'd be lying if I told you when, but it was Halloween and your kids were dressed in costumes and they had a badge with their name on it that made it authentic. And I can't even remember if it was a firefighter or a nurse or what it was, but
Mm-hmm.
it just it immediately clicked. I was like, that's the best costume I've seen because of that little badge. And then you get thinking like these kids are really proud to wear their name and have their picture and show off like this is mine. I get ownership of this. And so that made me want to I can't lie, like I don't think about badges daily up until then. Like that is not part of my daily
Sure.
I like the connection at best to your company would have been really tenuous for me. Like I wouldn't have had an in. And then I saw this post and luckily someone I was following was following you. They liked it. It clicked. I was like, this is amazing. And so we wanted to bring that same sort of joy that you shared on Halloween. And I have access to thousands of kids.
Yep.
So it was, here's a chance for us to do a couple of things that are really important to me. Is number one, we're going to give kids a great experience. They're going to pick up a badge. We're going to take their picture. You're going to watch it come off the printer even. They have a lanyard. They'll wear it every Sunday. And number two, I want to tell Mississippi's story. And that includes the people that choose to run their business here. And that's what you guys do. Like you guys are headquartered, domiciled, whatever word you want to use, right here in the Tri-County area of central Mississippi. Like you're our neighbors. And you're in a business that I think for people that don't know, it sounds really niche. They don't realize how many places you touch. At first glance, they wouldn't realize like, oh, wow, they do a lot.
Sure.
And so for me, it was like, we're going to create this great experience for kids. And then we're going to be able to partner with somebody that employs our neighbors, that is our neighbors, that's doing this great work. And they're doing it nationally. So Badge Pass exists across all corners of our nation. Anyone that doesn't know this, just follow Lindsay. You will see the time she's on plane, which is unbelievable. And we get to tell that story. And so now there are kids wearing something that has Badge Pass on it, whose parents, get to hear the story on Sundays. But also when you find that in your drawer, you're like, wait, what is Badge Pass? And they look up and they realize this is something in our backyard. So telling that story is really great. Like there's no better word for it. Like it's just epic to me.
No, I love that. And I do love that you found me from a LinkedIn post about my children's Halloween costume. I'm pretty sure it was so last year my son was a police officer and I was Scotty Scheffler and he was arresting me because there was the PJ scandal. And so but he to this day my kids wear a badge for every dress up occasion at school, and of course that's what I do, but the word that you used was joy. And I think that that's interesting because it parallels kids. When you give them a badge, like they feel an immediate sense of belonging and like, this is mine and this is so cool. And when we do take your kids to work day here and give them all a badge every year, I mean, like they collect those and will wear them. Like my daughter will bust hers out before she comes to the office so she can wear her Badge Pass badge to visit. And like they love it. And, you think about it as you grow up, you lose a little bit of that, like your badge loses some of that luster, but it still has that same like connection piece. Maybe the joy isn't quite as pure as when you're 7 or 3 or whatever. But you still see it as a piece of belonging and part of your identity and being a part of something. And so the fact that you saw that and then you were like, I can translate this to kids coming to a baseball game is so cool to me.
It's so, and like I think back and I've had too many jobs. Like we could discuss all of the different, but I worked in a call center for a telecom company. Doesn't exist anymore, for Sprint. And so I ran a 500-person call center. And I keep going back to thinking about, we had access badges and everything's tied down. There's so much financial information. And like what the difference would have been for me having something with our logo and my picture on it versus just we had white cards that passed around. If you lost it, you paid for it, whatever. And just thinking like, I was in this giant organization and I was a number, literally a number on my pass. And so like, the more like I listen to your story and I dig into it, I go, there are so many places in my life where something as simple as putting my name on it would have given me ownership and a place of belonging that I didn't have. There's a reason I don't work in call centers anymore. And those little touches, and people don't talk about that enough. It's the little things that really, really matter. The big things are easy to get right, but those little details completely change an environment.
I love that so much. You are literally just speaking my language and all the things that we're trying to create here. I mean, when I think about the security industry, you talked about your blank white badge. That is designed to keep people out. Right? Like that's to keep the wrong people out of a building. When you think about access control, and for too long, that's been the messaging in the security industry, is keeping bad people out. And you're an employee there. And instead of seeing it as like this feeling of inclusion and belonging and keeping me in and connected to my team members, that's a huge missed opportunity of that organization to leverage a tool they already have and just make it better. So thank you for making that point. I didn't even ask you to. But
no, it sounds, like I said, it makes no sense. Like us connecting about badges at first glance, I'm the last person that should, I'm a baseball stadium that employs, 12 people. Like it sounds like I shouldn't have. And, it's why I watch this podcast. It's why I follow you a lot is, it sounds to people at first, it sounds really small, but if they really think about it, if they really put pen to paper, they can see like, it's a little detail that changes stuff. For us, it changed our Sundays. Like kids come out and that's their day. Like they got to own it. They felt really important. They're walking around with their badge. Everyone's noticing it. And then my favorite thing is they go to like check out. They're buying a hot dog with their mom and they're like, oh, here you go, Sally. Here you go, Jonathan. Here you go. Like it's an instant recognition and it's warm. And the warmth doesn't exist in corporate America, and you guys provide that. And that sounds really strange because we're talking about a badge, but that is like at its core what you guys do.
I love that so much. Well, thank you for getting what we do so perfectly. So I want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about how you're taking the Little Monsters concept and bringing it back to life for seasonal badges. So y'all are doing something called the Southern Lights experience at the ballpark. And I think you need to be able to tell us a little bit more about that because I think this is really cool. And you guys are essentially like reimagining the ballpark for the holiday season.
Yeah. So we have, for people that have never been to this ballpark, it has 6,300 fixed seats. It is exactly the same dimensions as Turner Field in Atlanta used to be. When it was designed to be exactly the same. So it is massive. And so for our season, it was 48 games last season. So we're using it for 48 out of 365 days. And then we add in additional walks, like the American Cancer Society Strides Walk was here 2 weekends ago. They raised $600,000 here. So we use it a little, but we still have all this space, and we're in Mississippi where you can do things year round. I'm not worried about snow like closing us down for days or anything. And so credit to our owner. He put a multi-million-dollar investment together here. It's all private. None of it comes from the city. This is all 100% on our shoulders to bring 2.5 million lights, an ice skating rink of real ice, which I did not believe was possible here, but they went and toured one in Arizona. So if it worked in Arizona, it's going to work here.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add fire pits, like gas fire pits that you can rent for your family, but also giant fire pits that you can make s'mores on. And effectively, to me, it is kind of like bringing a Hallmark movie to life, that you'll be able to pick any, hey, I'm going to go spend 3 or 4 hours here. We're going to walk around. We're going to see these Christmas lights. They have moving light shows. We have a giant Christmas tree right at second base. You can go on the field. That we're creating an experience that everyone can kind of, like the end of any good Hallmark movie where the love interest meet up in the town square, that we're creating that town square inside the ballpark. And so just super excited about it. If there's one thing I love as much as baseball, it's Christmas. And so it's like speaking to my heart every which way around right now.
I love it too. And I'm excited because you reached out and you were like, hey, we did this badge design for Little Monsters. I'd really like to modify this and give our staff members something they can wear during the holidays where people will identify them as like part of the Southern Lights experience as opposed to, the Mud Monsters. Granted, you're still at the ballpark, but it is different. Yeah. It's a different vibe. And my favorite was, it was your idea to add the touch of putting everybody's favorite Christmas song on their badge.
Oh, it's it's the same thing. Like, it needs to be personal. Like, I really do. When we're talking around here, I talk like it's a Hallmark movie. Like, that's going to be my comparison all of the time. And in Hallmark movies, when you're in the downtown square, everyone already knows everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I want us to get that sense. So like, we put our name on there, we put, favorite Christmas song. So it's a conversation starter, but also it's cold. And so this is like a natural fix for something you wouldn't think of as an issue. So for our games, you can wear your logos, you wear your hat, the whole 9 yards, and you're instantly recognizable as an employee here because you're wearing your polo shirt. Well, if I gave everyone t-shirts or polo shirts, they're going to wear a jacket over it. Like, this is the evening in December.
Yeah.
And so it was, let us create something that's instantly recognizable, but also provides that layer of now you know who they are, at least a little bit. It gives you an intro. And I've enjoyed just watching my staff because I'm starting to put them together. So they're sending me their list of favorite Christmas songs. And I actually think that if somebody knew my staff and I gave them just a list of Christmas songs, they could pick out who gave each song. Like, it tells you so much about somebody.
That's so funny. Now we have to know, what's your favorite Christmas song?
I'm actually debating between two, and they are so drastically different. So my favorite Christmas song I used to tell everyone is Christmas Is A-Coming by Bing Crosby. Because it's so silly. It's a happy man outside of his window that's begging. And he's like, well, if you don't have that, I'll take less. If you don't have that, I'll take that. And he even asks he's like, hey, do you have a dog I can have? Well, if you don't have a dog, I'll take a cat. Like, it's ridiculous and 1950s and happy. But 2 or 3 years ago, I discovered Lil Jon made All I Want for Christmas with the Kool-Aid Man.
I did not know this. I'm going to find the song immediately.
And there's a line that is like, all I really want for Christmas is everything on my list, yeah. And then he goes, no eggnog, Kool-Aid, oh yeah. And it just gets stuck in my head. And I mean, Lil Jon gets stuck in your head. But so both those songs tell you something different about me. Like, it's either old, obscure Bing Crosby, or it's Lil Jon and the Kool-Aid Man. And I fit somewhere in between those two.
You're both. You're both of those things. I think that's great. You're all of them put together in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
I think that perfectly encapsulates you. So I love that. Well, I'm excited to check it out. If for everybody who's local, I think you got to check out the Southern Lights. I can't wait to see it. When does it start?
So it starts the 21st of November, and it'll run all the way through January 4th. We will be open. It's open in the evening, so 5 to 9 during the week, 5 to 10 on weekends. And we will be open Thanksgiving night and Christmas night. So, if you're like me, my family always gets together. We play board games. We do something silly. We're always looking for something to do after the holiday dinner, and everyone's just bloated sitting around. So you can come walk out and make some s'mores and all that jazz too.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited for y'all. I can't wait to check it out. It's going to be amazing. And thank you so much for sharing like so many cool stories about the Mud Monsters and hopefully educating some people on them, and also talking a little bit about badges and the impact that they've made on your organization. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I could talk this all day. You know this, but I would gladly talk this all day. But thanks for sharing this, and thanks for doing this podcast. I learn a lot about things I don't know, but you have so many different people across security industry and other industries that I take lessons away from that I never would have had a reason to listen to before. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. That's so sweet of you to say. But before we wrap, I have to hit you with Badge Blitz because it's my favorite segment. And for some reason, I just anticipate that your answers are going to be really fun for this one. So the way that it works is we have old school 1 minute stopwatch. I will start it and then I will ask you a question. You have not prepped for these. I did not send them to you. And you will just tell me off the cuff the first answer that comes to your head.
Awesome.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
What is a game day ritual that you never skip?
I require myself, if we're playing baseball, I wear shorts. Required to wear shorts. It doesn't matter if it is 10 degrees or anything. I worked in Chicago and wore shorts in 30-degree weather for baseball because baseball means shorts.
Okay. All right. What is your go-to pump-up song before the first pitch?
The Man by the Killers, which is funny because it says I'm the man, but it's actually making fun of people that say that, but it still gets me hyped.
If you could design the ultimate Mud Monsters fan badge, what perks would it include?
So I would want it to have access to the field so that you can be on the field during batting practice. I think that it would be an all-you-can-eat badge, so you never once have to think about food at the ballpark. And then I think it would give you the capability to come take batting practice by yourself. Come pretend you're a player for a hot minute.
Oh, that'd be cool. All right, what is one word to describe the spirit of the Mud Monsters?
Wacky.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, that was perfect. You were fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me, David. It was so fun. It was like such a breath of fresh air to have a different outsider's perspective on what we do. And so I can't thank you enough. You're just so much fun to talk to. Every time I get a chance to connect with you, it brings me joy.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'll be following you on LinkedIn. If anybody sees this and they're not following you, they just need to. Like, I'll say that. I will put that out there. That's an ad for Lindsay. Go follow Lindsay like right now.
Oh, well, you're too sweet. Well, thank you so much. And to everybody else, we hope you'll join us next time as we take you beyond the badge.